What just happened?
I just gave Destination Fear, well, Project Fear, Project Fear our lanyard, so that's pretty cool.
Feeling pretty good?
Feeling pretty cool about it.
Good. Excellent.
What's going on, guys? Where are we
Hi.
at today, Lexi?
We're at Paracon.
Hell yeah, we're at Paracon. We're going to be getting people's spooky stories, all their ghost experiences.
Oh,
we just want
yeah.
to learn more about what other people have gone through. We're fast forwarding. We're from the future. This is on day 2. We forgot to do an intro yesterday because it was so busy and crazy. But we've had a great time.
We have, and we're ready to get some more stories.
Hell yeah! So
hope you enjoy
these stories. Bye.
We lived in a little town, Romansville, Pennsylvania, and just up the road from us was an old farmhouse, which we used to go in quite a bit as kids. We didn't think much about it. And I heard the story that someone had died in the well next to the. But it was cemented over. Somebody cemented it over. But it was not uncommon for our dog to just go into the house and run around. And so one early evening, I was looking for the dog, saying, "Where are you at now? Time to come home and eat." Went up to the house, and I heard the dog down in the basement. I said, "Well, come on, let's go. It's time to eat." So it's like any other time. I walk in, start going down the steps. Here's the dog sitting in the middle of the basement floor, staring over in the corner.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And in the corner of the basement, there was an old root cellar below us. So I get my flashlight out, and I'm shining it, but the light doesn't penetrate. Okay?
Oh,
it goes. I can see all the walls, but it gets to that corner, and the light won't penetrate and go down in there.
Oh, no. Oh, that's scary.
And as I'm standing there, I see a mist start rolling up out of there, and it starts to form a column, right? That was it. I was
wow, yeah, I'm out. I'm out too. That's when I'm out.
I don't think one foot touched the steps on the way up.
you flew. Wow, amazing.
Yeah, but yeah, that was my experience.
Well, thank you. Wow, we appreciate you sharing that for us.
Last time
Hoping to?
She
said, yeah.
She was too.
Yeah.
She was as well. Yeah.
Yeah, we were down in the tunnels, and I specifically separated myself from the rest of the group and stood there.
Yeah.
And sure enough, yeah.
We had a scary experience.
Yeah, the tunnels we're definitely the scariest location here, I think, for sure. So.
We got some really crazy stuff. It was just the 3 of us.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Like the entire thing, and
it was scary. Scared us. We didn't stay down there too long.
Yeah,
it's like someone told me a long time ago. There's nothing to be afraid of. They're just people.
True. Very true.
There's nothing evil here. It's just
That's
people.
true. I do agree with that. Yeah.
Specifically here too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Sure. You guys have a nice day.
So when I was about 16, my father said he was going to Canada because my grandfather was sick, not knowing that he was already dead. So I'm alone. They all went to Canada. It's the first time I'm by myself. I get a telephone call, and I swear it was my grandfather on the phone. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And I didn't find out that he had passed away until after my father came back. So he was already dead. And my cousin said that she saw him in the house. Now, she lived in Walnutport, PA. I live in Reading.
Wow.
Yeah, she said that she saw him, and I got a telephone call, and my father was like, "No, that's not possible." I'm like,
so crazy.
"Yeah, it is."
Oh my gosh. She woke up to me waking her up saying that he'd passed away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It was the craziest thing.
Wow.
It was so surreal. So yeah, that's
wow.
Yeah, so from age 16, that's what started my paranormal obsession.
Wow.
Now, at the time, so cool, people weren't going out. Well, they were doing ghost hunting, but it wasn't as popular back then.
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
So we're talking about the 70s now.
Wow.
So I'd been doing a lot of research over the years, and me and my son finally decided to start our own group. So we have a family-based group called Ghost Recon Paranormal Detectives. Cool. And I wrote a book that I have with me so I can get signatures from different people.
That's so awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Would you like to see it?
Sure, yeah. Okay. We appreciate you sharing that story as well. No way.
But this
oh my
all
God.
the knowledge that I have accumulated over the years.
I don't even want to touch it because it feels like so delicate. That's
no, it's not
my
delicate.
goodness. Wow.
That's amazing.
connection
Yeah,
using the Ouija.
It's all. Huh?
Can we show that to our camera?
Sure.
That's incredible. Oh my goodness. Wow.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Well,
we really
thank you.
appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, that's so, and I'm never gonna forget that book. That's so cool. So tell us about your experience.
So I'm actually a psychic medium.
Oh.
And my house, I live right next to a mortuary. And sometimes I will see spirits walking through. And one time, while I was sleeping, I heard knocking at my window, which was actually a spirit trying to get back up to heaven or whatever. And so I had to help it get through because he didn't know how to get
Oh my
back.
goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
And also our old school, the school that we go to is actually it used to be a factory, and I heard screaming one time. So I think somebody got stuck in a machine and died.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's wild. Oh geez.
It was
Well, thank you for
scary.
sharing that. We appreciate it.
Okay, so we used to have a camera for my dogs in the living room because they had crates in the living room.
Yeah.
And the people who lived in our house before us lived there for like 60 years. And the room that's now our living room was the woman who lived in there was sick and died there. So we had a camera, and we saw orbs that would fly across the camera randomly, and my dogs would look at them. And then last week, do you know the Snapchat filter that's a dog? Like the dog filter? Snap?
Yeah.
I just used that in my living room, and it kept appearing on the same place.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was where the orb would always appear.
Oh my God, that's creepy.
And we have a baby monitor for my little brother.
Yeah.
And there's always orbs like flying over, and one was like hovering over him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Hey, thank you for sharing. We appreciate it, man. Tell us what you got, man.
So what building was that? Was it the Mayflower basement?
We love Mayflower.
So we were in the basement of the Mayflower building. No, it wasn't the Mayflower. We were in the tunnels.
Also
we were
creepy.
in the tunnels because you were sitting on the little
Yeah.
So we were in the tunnels, and he was actually down for the Estes method. And we had just started doing some base questions.
Yeah.
How's it going? We got the response of good. So I asked, what's good? Immediately, without hesitation, the response was nothing. Like real stern, real like.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah.
we all started laughing, and through the spirit box, it said something along the lines of like joke or jokester, or so we asked, "Are you here to tell us jokes?" And it attempted a stand-up routine.
That's so
But
funny.
it was like broken sentences.
Oh my gosh.
So
You know what's funny? When we were down in the tunnels,
oh yeah,
we actually got an EVP that sounded like someone laughing.
Yeah.
In the tunnels.
yeah.
So that's kind of crazy. It kind of corroborates that. Yeah.
But a little bit after, he actually something grabbed the top of his head, and his head got real cold.
Wet rag on top of my head for about 5 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
Took it off.
That's so crazy. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that, dude. We appreciate that. But I was just
Okay.
Okay, let's hear about this Queen Mary story.
So when I was 9, my friend wanted to have her birthday dinner on the Queen Mary. I live in California, so naturally it's like, oh, fun times for third graders. Queen Mary ghost ship, you know.
Amazing.
And I, the little entrepreneur I was, brought my video camera because I was like, I'm going to get rich filming ghosts on Queen Mary.
Of course.
Yes. And so I'm walking around with my family and her family and all this stuff, and I see this guy sitting on a bench looking out over the water, and I walk up because he's sitting alone, and like, you know, as a kid, you don't think anything of it. You're like, oh, this older man is sitting alone.
Yeah.
And so I walk up, and I'm like talking to him, and he's not looking at me. He's just staring out, and I'm like, hello. And my mom walks up and is like, don't wander off. And I was like, I'm talking to him, and she's like, there's no one there. And so she grabs me and pulls me back, and I'm like, no, like I'm talking to him. He's like, he's alone. Like, I'm talking to him, and I turn around, and he's gone. So he's like, and I'm like, see him, he's a full person sitting there. He was African American, like looking out in like full clothes. Not even like, I can describe his clothes because I'm so young, I don't even think like, oh, what, like he doesn't look normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm like, he's sitting alone. Like, there's no one else on the bench. There's no one in the side of, like,
You're trying to be kind and, like,
I'm
talk
like,
to him.
yeah, I'm like,
That's
oh,
so
he's
cool.
alone, you know? And then I go back and I'm like, wait a minute, what the heck? And it's one of those things where it's like, you don't think about it until years later.
Oh, my God.
You know, where you're like, wait, what the heck was that?
Yeah.
You know?
Like an epiphany later.
Yeah, and my friend was like, why were you, like, talking to the bench? I'm like, no, there was someone, you're driving me crazy. Where there was someone there.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So I have not been back to the Queen Mary since. So I don't know what would happen if I went back now.
So good. Oh, my God. Thank you so much for telling us that. I appreciate it. So let's hear about it.
Okay, so my name is Alice. We live in Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay.
My house is extremely haunted.
Oh.
Like, extremely haunted. I've got video on video on video. I have a YouTube channel about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
let us
I don't know. I got to figure it out. I don't go on YouTube that much. I just post it on there.
That's fair.
But, yeah, so we have a Bluetooth soundbar. And it'll, like, pop on when you hit the button. It'll say, like, hello and goodbye. And then it just pops on and off. And it'll say, like, hello, like, I'm here. And then it'll say, like, goodbye. And I'll be like, can you do it again? And it'll do it again. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That's crazy.
What else? I had spirit ball sitting in the middle of my dining room, and it shook on its own. I zoomed in, and you could see that thing shaking on its own.
Wow.
Yeah, built in the early 1900s.
Wow.
But what else? My dog, yes, in front of my house. 3 people have been shot in front of my house.
Oh my God.
We have bullet holes in our
No
facade of our
way.
house. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we live in a very bad neighborhood.
Wow. A lot of energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
We have all the ghost hunting equipment too. So.
Yeah. Oh wow.
After we started seeing stuff like that, we were like, all right, we got to get.
Maybe
into
we
this.
don't play with this anymore.
No, we play with it.
The kids playing with the spirit app, and the guy was dead right there.
Oh yeah. Okay, so my kids, they downloaded some spirit app, yeah, something like that.
We actually use it. We think it works sometimes.
Yeah, I think it does too.
Saying I'm around the corner.
Yeah, they said, who are you? And he says, I'm dead and I'm around the corner.
Oh my God.
Yes, and the very next day, they found the guy upstairs.
No.
Yes. Yep.
That's incredible.
And then last week, somebody died in the same room.
Oh my God. That's crazy that he came through and was like, it's almost like he was trying to have someone find him.
He was, yeah.
That's wild.
Because nobody knew he was there.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yep. There you go.
Wow.
I don't even know if it's, oh shit. Gotta rewind it.
Oh yeah, you could just see that move. Oh wow. It's rocking back and forth.
Yep.
That's crazy.
I love camcords because they're just like.
Such a simple thing, but so effective.
Yes. That's the light upstairs, and you see so many orbs that go past.
That's really weird.
That's so crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Have you ever looked up like who has owned your home before?
We tried, but because we rent, we don't know too much information.
Yeah.
There's so many people that live
Wow,
there.
that's incredible though.
But yeah.
That's super interesting.
Okay, so watch this. Yeah, there's a fan going. Yes, I'm not stupid. I know there's a fan going. This piece of paper was just dancing on its own. And I'm like, oh, it's just attributed to the fan. But it isn't, because it stopped. And then I literally said to it, I'm like, all right, do it again. Because my dog was not stopping staring at this thing.
Really?
Wow.
And I was like, all right, do it again. And it gets up and it just does it on its own again. I'm like, ah.
Wow.
See, he was like,
yeah, you can see the dog is like, Yeah.
He's like,
they know too. Animals know.
He's like, I don't trust that thing, Mommy. I don't
Wow.
trust it. And then watch, I'm going to say, well, you can't really hear it, but. All right, I'm going to ask it again now.
Oh. Oh, that's weird.
That's insane.
Oh my God.
All right, so my first ever ghost experience, I was 7 years old. We lived in this house that was a couple hundred years old in Pataskala, Ohio.
Oh, wow.
And I was just sleeping in my bunk bed, and this like shadow figure kind of went over my head a little bit.
Oh gosh.
And I freaked out, so I went online, researched different signs to draw to try to make the ghost not come into my room, because I was a kid and I was just trying to figure out something to make it stop. I didn't even know what it was really, you know what I mean? It just scared the shit out of me.
Oh, that would scare me.
And I was 7 when that happened. So now that I'm older, we investigate other houses. And, I mean that's my first ghost experience.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing it. We appreciate it, man.
Their story from Crescent.
Oh, Crescent. Oh my gosh. I really want to go to Crescent.
So we were doing a public investigation at Crescent. This was my first trip there.
Oh wow.
So it would have been in the fall of 2021. And I had been basically running the event. Didn't have a chance to really go out on my own until about 3 a.m.
Oh, the witching hour.
So I go out and I go to End of Life by myself. So I walk into End of Life. Well, at that time, one of the owners of Ghost Hunts USA was there.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a group of people on the first floor. I'm like, I don't want to disrupt them. So I'm going to go upstairs on my own. So I go upstairs in End of Life, and I set up in one of the rooms, room 13, of course. You know, I had to pick room 13.
Gotta be.
Right? So I have my REM pod. I've got a cat toy. I have a K2 meter. And I step back out, and so it's this very, very long hallway. And at the very end of that hallway is a window. And on the other side of the facility, there's a hydroponic place where they grow plants indoors.
Yeah.
A little bit of ambient lights coming through the window. And I could see this shadow going back and forth.
Ooh.
Walking back and forth. So I'm standing there, and I'm watching it. And I yell down, I see you. Just like that. Seconds. I mean, within 2 seconds,
no way.
It's right in front of me.
Oh.
It's about your height. Okay, so not real, and of course they can't see us, but I'm pointing to, what's your name? Lexi. So Lexi's what, about 5 foot tall? Okay. I only say that because my wife, who continued on there, if I don't say she's 5 foot tall, when she's really 4'11", you know, I know she is. So anyhow, it's right there in front of me.
That's wild.
And it was definitely, I feel female because it was very small stature.
Yeah.
I did the jig of the lifetime, grabbed my stuff, and I was out of there.
Oh man! Wow, that's
so
amazing.
that was one of many stories,
that's
of course.
So cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
with us.
absolutely.
It,
Thank you,
Nick. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great, honestly. I got to meet Project Fear, hand
Sick.
them our lanyards, which is like the coolest thing I've ever done in my life.
Nice.
We've met a ton of really nice people here.
Yeah.
Heard a bunch of cool stories on and off camera.
Yep.
People have been super nice, supporting us. So how about you? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a little hungry.
I'm a little hungry. Little hungry, little clanky, just because I'm hungry. But we're going to eat after this, and it's going to be lit, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Gotta love Pennhurst. Love the energy here. This place is sick.
I did feel a little weird coming back after, as we rolled up, because you guys have already seen the video, got touched.
Yeah.
Love that for me. But, you know, I'm not going in that building today, so it's okay.
But, yeah, so far so good.
Yep. All right, well, we'll catch you in a bit.
Hey, well, so, I mean, the experience, I think, would be to note here, particularly with being Pennhurst.
Of course.
2019, first time here, first time that the Paracon was going on, basically, so it's awesome that it's back. Was basically by myself and was documenting the experience, you know, doing some B-roll.
Yeah.
Have a YouTube show, Unexplained Cases,
Perfect.
was recording it. And the fact that I captured so many disembodied voices here. So I don't know if necessarily anyone's heard about iPhones being very peculiarly sensitive.
I haven't tried, but now I'm going to, now that you said that.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's most of our stuff that we record is off of iPhones,
Yeah.
use other cameras. But the fact that I've got over in Mayflower, over in one of the tunnels.
Yeah.
And literally these are things I didn't hear with my own ear, but actually recorded on the iPhone and listened to later.
Yeah.
So to me, just to make an on-brand story, basically.
Sure.
I mean, these were like, so what was said, like the first one was, "We're going with you."
Ooh.
That was whispered so low, had to enhance it. There was a little cart that was like rusted wheels were solid, and I kind of moved it.
Yeah.
And the whisper, same male voice, "Leave this here."
Ooh.
Said it a little bit quicker, but
yeah.
But then the freakiest one was in a tunnel where, again, not with your own ears. So I was saying like, hey, if you got anything that you want to share, I'm recording. Here's this device. You know, the classic shtick.
Exactly. Yeah.
The phrase that was said was, "It's recording."
Ooh.
And I'm like, there's no mistaking. It was like as clear as a bell.
That's
it's
crazy.
recording. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Yeah. So it's just, and that was just like during the day.
It's just casual here.
Just casual,
It really is.
just walking around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's in your face, basically.
It is wild. Wow. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us, man. I do. Yeah. Thank you.
I have a ton.
Okay, so one time I was in a church with my grandfather, and we were just walking by doing like tasks, like cleaning up. So then we went to like the actual room where like they do their prayers and stuff. So then I went up on like this upper level, and when I looked down, I saw like a person, but like it looked like a ghost or like an angel, right? And so I was like, Grandpa, look, there's something down there. So then once we went down there, it was gone.
Ooh!
And ever since that day, that's the day. That's the moment, huh? That's when I started that's when I was like, ghosts are real, ghosts are real.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Thank you so much for sharing that. We appreciate
course,
it. That's
yeah.
so cool. Thank you. So tell us about your experience.
It wasn't anything too crazy. I was at my friend's house.
Okay.
It was me and him and his dog, and that was all the people that were there.
Sure.
We're back in high school now. And I went upstairs to go to the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
And my friend was telling me maybe to go out back because he started hearing some noises, and he claimed his house was haunted. I didn't believe him.
Yeah.
So I go up to go to the bathroom, and before I go in, I hear a noise from his room. At the top of the stairs, straight back is his bathroom.
Yeah.
To the right of the bathroom is his room, and then you keep going around to the other rooms. I turned to go walk towards his room, and his PlayStation 2 controller almost hung me.
What?
So then I took a step back, I yelled for him, and then as he was coming up the stairs, I went into his room, and there was nobody there.
Oh my God.
So I don't, it's just one time thing.
So it just jumped around your neck, the cord?
The cord came out, and it hit me in the chest and went up instead of down.
Oh, wow.
And I was a bit... To be honest, I went home and had to change because I didn't need the bathroom anymore. So
that's amazing. You said it wasn't that great of a story. That's awesome.
Well, it's just one thing, but
I've
that's
never heard
cool.
anything like that. That's really cool.
It's part of what got me into this stuff.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing it so much. That's so cool.
You're welcome.
We were at Bedford Springs, the Omni up there. It's a very old building. It used to be used for healing purposes. They have a natural spring there.
Oh, okay. Like a mineral spring kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool,
and they have a pool indoor that is actually fed from the springs. But we stayed there. We were in one of the rooms. We were getting ready to go to bed.
Okay.
We were watching TV, and all of a sudden the shower just turned on by itself.
No way.
Yeah, it was really cool. We went and turned it off, and it didn't turn back on. But the next morning, it turned on by itself again.
What the hell?
And then when I was like, okay, I got to go get my camera so I can film this, at least the last bit of me turning it off, and it shut off by itself. It did not want to be filmed.
That's incredible.
Like a leak, full on.
That's wild. That takes so much effort to turn that off too.
Right.
Even no matter what the kind of handle it was. That's so cool.
Yeah. So next time we want to stay in that same room.
Oh, of course, right? Wow. All right, hit us with your best shot.
So basically, I was first 45 years of my life, had no belief in anything like that. And
of course, yeah.
So at the time I was driving, and every evening I would leave from the Harrisburg, PA area, going to Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
And so I would travel down through Gettysburg on Route 15 into Maryland.
Uh-huh.
And then one section down through there just before Frederick, it's very dark, very flat. It's about 9:30 in the evening in the summer. And I was coming up on another truck. Now, slightly behind me was a car, the headlights I could see. So I was kind of judging whether I was going to sit back and let the car go by me, or if I'm just going to pull out and pass this truck. So the car actually backed behind me like that, and I was at that point, pretty close to that truck. So I put my left turn signal on to merge out in the left lane, and as my eyes went from looking in the mirror to see where that car was, it came forward again, I saw this thing move across the front of my hood.
Oh!
Now, I was doing 65 mile an hour. I was only about 25 feet from the back of the truck in front of me.
Yeah.
And as my eyes followed that thing, it was a young kid on a bicycle.
What?
He wasn't standing up pedaling. I wasn't imagining anything. There was a 7-Eleven store there, so I watched him ride right off into the lights of this 7-Eleven.
Oh, my God.
And I'll never forget, it freaked me out. At first, I was very upset. I was mad. Why would this kid risk his life and everything for that? And then I thought, there's just no possible way. I mean, it was a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
And if I wouldn't have been moving into the left lane, I would have hit him dead center with my truck. And I remember as I went down the road, I just kept questioning, and I said to myself, don't you ever forget that was real.
Wow.
And very much real.
That's amazing.
And that really was just the beginning of a lot of things that happened.
That kicked it off, huh?
Yes, and it just got crazier through the years. You know?
Wow, thank you for sharing that with us. I appreciate it, man. That's awesome. There you go. Hit us with your best shot.
Hello, my name is Mike. Well, when I was 10 years old, I had a attic room, and my stepbrother and we had bunk beds.
Okay.
And I was on top, he was on bottom. All of a sudden, I hear literally hard footsteps just running up the stairs. The stairs, when you go up the stairs, it's the stairs, and then immediately on the left is the door to the room. I heard boom, 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 boom. It's like, who the hell is this? I opened the door, nothing is there.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing is there at all, yes. It was really freaky, and I didn't really think about it as like a paranormal thing. You know, when I was younger, I wasn't all into it, but now thinking about it, growing up, I was like, whoa, that's actually really creepy that I even heard that at all.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
oh
but that is my most significant paranormal story that I can think of.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
we appreciate it,
you.
man. Fellow Dayseeker fan in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, so my name is Kyle. So at my friend's house, he lives in an older house, early 1900s built. And it's before all these houses were built in Reading, PA. And so it's kind of like a nice old, like, big, like, lonely house before it was a whole city. And he was coming home from, they had an outing, and they came home, and there was nobody in the house. But the light in the attic was on, and they saw someone looking out the window at them.
Oh.
Someone ran inside the house thinking someone was in the house, burglary. Walked all the way up there, light was off, nothing was in there.
Oh.
Came back, but when he was up there, they couldn't even see him in the house either. Like,
my gosh.
the window, like, it wasn't, like, transparent at all. It was weird.
Oh.
And they came back out, they came downstairs, they said they didn't even see you in the window. And
that's incredible.
I was like, yeah. And I've been friends with you for 7 years, and you're only telling me this now.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I've been in your house, I've stayed over at your house. He hears footsteps coming up and down the stairs. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with
You're
us,
welcome,
man. We appreciate that.
You don't have to look at it if you don't want to, but you're more than welcome to. Yeah, so what's your name?
Steve.
Nice to meet you.
And this is Sierra.
Nice to meet you. I'm
with her
Lexi.
creepy ass doll.
That is pretty creepy, but that's okay. Oh, it's all like, yeah. That's awesome. So what's your paranormal experience?
We have a lot.
Okay, let me know.
You want paranormal experiences here or elsewhere?
Honestly, whatever is your favorite, the craziest, you can give me more than one. It's totally up to you.
Well, stuff I have on my phone, I can show you too. Where at home, there was a picture frame that went flying.
Oh my gosh.
I have video of that on my phone.
Crazy.
Then there's another one with the back door opens up. Have that on my phone. And then there's one from Devon building last year at like 4:30 in the morning.
Oh my gosh,
I have
really?
on my phone of a little girl saying "hurry."
Wow.
So
That's so crazy.
Devon building, been here many times. Here, I'll show you the.
Yes, please do.
This is the picture frame.
That's awesome. How old are you?
I don't know if it's going
10?
to focus.
Nice. So you're starting young.
There it goes. Yep.
Yeah, that is actually wild. Were you just like so freaked out?
No, I grew up with the stuff.
Okay.
So her brother was just kind of like, huh? And then came up and got us. I've been coming here since like the mid '90s, so.
Oh, very cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
No problem.
And
so you want to share a spooky story with us, huh?
I do want to share a spooky story.
Okay, let's hear it.
So this was probably at least like 15 years ago, maybe. I was living in a house in Center City, Philadelphia, and I was asleep upstairs on the top floor of the house. I had the light on because, you know, kids are afraid of the dark.
Of course.
And for whatever reason, I woke up, and through really sleepy, half-lidded eyes, I saw the figure of a soldier standing next to the bed. And like, I could see him pretty clearly. He had like a red coat on. Turns out, doing some like history research, it was probably a like War of 1812 soldier.
Oh my goodness.
And who knows? Maybe it was his house at one point.
Yeah, it could have been. Jeez, that's amazing. Wow.
You know, he was a nice spirit. You know.
Yeah, he didn't do anything mean.
Yeah. No, if like it was too cold, he would like slam the window shut.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so cool. He's probably being protective over the house and like the people in it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And so, can I share one more?
Yeah, help yourself. Go on.
I worked at Terror Behind the Walls for a few years, and the 1 year that I was there, my dad's girlfriend, in her sleep, heard him ask where I was. And I guess she answered like, oh, she's at work. And he was like, oh, okay. I just wanted to just checking. Yeah.
Oh, whoa. But thank you for sharing those.
Yeah,
with us.
no
We appreciate
problem.
it.
Yes, hi. So my name's Vicky. I grew up in a really old haunted house in Connecticut.
Okay.
The kind that you drive by and you're like, oh, that one's
haunted.
that's haunted.
I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean. Yeah.
So, yeah, I was in high school and I was maybe, I don't know, like 16, 17, wanted to go over my friend's house in the afternoon and had to, of course, ask my mom permission.
Of course.
So she's taking a nap upstairs and I go and I stand in her bedroom doorway and I kind of did the mom, like try to gently wake her up. She wasn't stirring, so I just kind of stayed there and hung out for a few minutes in hopes that she would turn over and notice me.
Yeah.
And in my right ear here, I hear a woman's voice, loud and clear.
Ooh.
The weird thing was, like, my brain knew that it wasn't coming from a person. It was just the sound. But she said, "You're not going to leave me again, are you?"
Oh, that is creepy.
It was an experience. Yeah.
Goodness.
Cool, though. Like, it didn't scare me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I should have been scared.
Sometimes it's just too mind-blowing to even be scared. You know what I mean? You're just
Yeah,
like,
I was
whoa.
really just like astounded is the right
you gotta
word.
soak it in. It's
Where I was like, this happened to me.
so cool.
Now I have
Oh
to
my
tell it
God.
on podcast.
Well, there you go. Oh my God.
Thank you
so,
very
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
So tell us what you got. What happened to you?
So when I was a kid, probably 10, 11 years old, my great-grandfather, he passed away. And I knew him, but I wasn't like close to him.
Yeah.
But all of my relatives, or not all of them, but some of them had like weird things happening to them after he died, and just subtle things, you know, like hearing, you know, stuff going on in the house and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, I remember he didn't like it when I played with this little box that he had. It was like I don't know what he had inside, I forget, but I always opened it, and, you know, ruffled around with everything that was inside, and he always yelled at me. He always, you know, yelled at me, screaming my name, told me to stop playing with this box. And after he died, we went over to his house, which was right behind my house, with my grandfather and my mom, and my brother was there also.
Yeah.
I was like 11, 10 at the time. My brother was probably 6, 7, maybe a little younger. But I found the box again in his area. I forget. Like underneath his TV, is the box, and I took the box out of the from underneath the TV, and I started opening it again.
Of course, as one does.
Just to you know, look
the
inside.
Curiosity,
yeah,
right?
because I was still a kid and I still wanted to mess with this thing.
Yeah.
But as when I was looking at it and I was playing with it, all I can remember is like from where you're standing right now. I was sitting on the ground, like on my knees. I hear him from where, like exactly where you're standing, like that far away from me. He screams my name, and I'm getting goosebumps right now, like thinking about it. But like he screams
wild.
my name, and it like shook me so bad that I couldn't even move. Like and I know I wasn't like crazy or anything because my brother that was sitting right next to me while I was playing the box, like playing with the box, gets up, runs out of the room as fast as he can, and like just bolts. And he doesn't remember.
Yeah.
But I remember it, and I'm shaking right now.
That's
but
crazy,
like,
man.
I remember it so vividly.
Yeah.
And then I try to like think about other things. Like I try to think about like, okay, maybe it was my grandfather that was like in the other room or something like that. But he wasn't even in the same like house. Like my house was connected to my other house.
Yeah.
Or his house was connected to my other house.
Wow.
So my grandfather was in the other house at the time. So I thought to myself, okay, maybe it was just him.
Yeah.
Like screaming my name for something, like calling me over.
But that
But it
loud
was
in front of
so
you,
right
you know?
in front
Yeah.
of me, and like it just freaked me out so bad.
That's wild.
And
man. Wow. That's awesome.
yeah, and I like to this day, like that's the reason like I believe in ghosts. Like it
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
like anything spiritual wise, like I believe in it just because of that.
Because of that moment.
Because
Yeah.
like nobody can tell me that they're not
What-
real now.
Yeah.
Like
I love
because
that.
It's
I
just,
love that.
Yeah, it was so vivid.
Awesome, dude.
There seems to be a running joke within my siblings that I attract ghosts
Oh no.
or anything that's haunted.
Okay.
I don't have fond memories, but my sisters, when I was very young, my sister would hear me giggling in my own bedroom.
Yeah.
Because we heard of a legend of a kid who passed away in a room that I stayed in.
Yeah.
And we just
Oh my
said,
gosh.
and they said, there's a ghost boy, and we just joke around. But
Yeah.
my older sisters keep hearing me giggle at night.
Oh.
And every time they open the door, I keep getting mad because they keep saying, because I keep telling them that you made my friend go away.
Oh my gosh.
And I
That's so it was like you were. If they were like, oh, you have an imaginary friend, but you were just talking to a ghost.
Yeah,
That's
because you
so
hear
cool.
noises, you hear someone responding to me.
Yeah.
One time my dad bought me a guitar,
Uh huh.
and I like to play with it. But one time, one of my sisters walked in on me, and they see it floating, then fell to the ground, and I got really mad at
What?
them.
Floating?
Yeah, like
That's
floating on its
crazy. Wow. Yeah.
My mom had a shelf full of figurines. Two of them were like Egyptian statues.
Uh-huh.
And in front of it, for some reason, if you stand right in front of it and you stand on the floor barefoot, you can feel only that one area is cold.
Oh, that's so weird. Oh my
It's
goodness.
weird. I remember that because I keep going out. It's like it's really cold compared to the rest of the
Yeah.
floor.
Wow, that's so cool. Wow. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Growing up, my bedroom, I of course got some of the older stuff from the house, from the family that was in there, and we had an old Singer treadle sewing machine.
Ooh, okay.
Thick metal plate you had to push to make it move.
Okay.
Every morning, 2 a.m. You could hear it and see it moving. Like the pedal part and the needle.
Oh my gosh, that takes a lot of energy too.
Yeah. So
Whoa.
it's like
So you think the house is haunted or the item?
the item.
The item.
Because since it's been gone, nothing else has ever happened.
Okay, that's interesting.
But you tell it to stop.
Yeah.
It would for a little bit.
No way.
And then it would start up again every day.
That's so cool.
But it was never frightening,
Yeah.
which is weird, but it's like Grandma, stop sewing. Like it's
Yeah.
2 a.m. I
Oh
just
my
want to go to
gosh.
sleep. But
That's
only,
so cool though.
Only at night.
Wow. So did you sell it or give it away?
They got rid of it.
They were
I
like,
was
"Get it outta here,"
I would have
huh?
liked to keep that, but
Yeah. Wow.
So basically, I was like 7 or 8, and I was sitting downstairs with my family. Nobody had went upstairs, and I had this doll, and so I'd broken its leg, and it was sitting on the one shelf we had, and I looked up, and the figure of the doll was standing directly in front of the bathroom. And
I don't do dolls.
It waved at me for like a good solid 10 seconds and then threw itself towards my bedroom. So I went up like a few seconds later and the doll was sitting in my doorway. And I asked if anybody had touched it and nobody did.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you for telling us that. That's insane.
No, thank you. This starts with a best friend of mine being killed when he was
Sorry.
16 years old.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. After his funeral, I would have bad dreams and there'd be black figures standing at the end of my bed.
Holy.
And one night, out of nowhere, a white figure appeared at the end of my bed.
Oh my God.
And the bad dreams and black figures disappeared after that.
So it's like your guardian angel came in and said, cut that shit out.
It must have been, but...
Wow.
Yeah. That wasn't during a dream.
That's amazing.
Because
oh my God.
the black figures that were shaking my bed woke me up, and the white figure came in and chased everything off.
That's so cool. That's such a cool story. We love like paranormal theory and stuff. So like the idea that like good entities can come in and chase out bad ones, that's amazing.
Yep.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah,
I
no
appreciate it,
problem.
man.
All right, so I got a long list of paranormal problems, but my number one was an imaginary friend that turned out not so imaginary.
Oh no. From how young?
From the age of 6.
Okay.
So I was 6 years old, and I had my imaginary friend Damon, who was masquerading as an old man, and said he had dementia, and so I gave him all the attention that he wanted, not knowing it was a demon.
Love that for you.
So come to 13, not so imaginary friend is living in my closet.
That's terrifying.
in my bedroom. So I finally realized it's not an old man with dementia. It's a demon that wants the attention. So I kept it at bay for about 10 more years, or for about 5 more years. Then it started being active. Things started flying around the house. My door started flying open.
And did you know it was him?
Oh, I knew it was him. There was nothing else in there but him. So I thought it was my cats because I had 3. Nah. When I saw my cat run from my room for no reason, I knew I was done. So we got some holy water and we cleansed the house and finally got rid of it.
That done the trick. So have you experienced anything else since then?
Not in that house.
That house. Keyword.
I've been doing medium stuff and hunting since I was 7.
Like you're a medium?
Yeah.
That's sick.
So,
if I may ask, how do you see it?
Basically, it's like seeing a normal person for me. So hospitals are a nightmare.
Yeah.
But I've learned to like kind of block it out a little bit when I need to. It's kind of like blocking out someone that you don't want to listen to.
Can you signify the difference? Like, let's say there was a spirit right here. Could you tell it was a spirit and not?
I can tell because usually it's a shadowy form.
Okay.
You can tell it's not solid.
Right.
Like you can usually see right through.
Yeah, literally.
But sometimes, if they're strong enough, they can manifest to be a physical body.
Terrifying.
That's what scares me.
Yeah, I can see why.
I practice shamanism.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, so I practice Celtic and Nordic shamanism, and I've seen my fair share of entities.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Not on the light end either. So.
That's crazy. Yeah. Have you all ever been harmed? Physically?
I've been pushed down the stairs.
Yeah. Pushed down the stairs?
I've been pushed down the stairs from 6 feet off the ground. I've been choked almost in the middle of the air. I've had claw marks on my back.
Can I just say you're saying this so nonchalant? Like, yeah, you know, I just got choked out by a spirit.
It's our everyday at this point, honestly.
That's insane.
Like, it's my passion.
I
teach about shamanism.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think the scariest experience I've had was my mentor did an exorcism.
Mm-hmm.
Terrifying. You were there?
I was there. Yeah.
We've both seen exorcisms, and it's not a sight to behold.
But I like how it's like so nonchalant, like, you know, we've both been some exorcisms here and there, you know, some slight.
I mean, I've been doing this since I was 19. I'm 28 now, and I had really good mentors. So like, a lot of stuff doesn't surprise me nowadays.
Yeah.
To be honest.
No.
I've been thrown to the wolves. And
yeah. I mean, I can only imagine. That's awesome.
Thanks.
I got the worst for me. It's probably my permanently dislocated collarbone now.
From a spirit?
Yeah. From a lovely demon.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. What happened? If I may ask, what happened?
No worries. I was actually working at Wendy's, and they have the reception behind 2 steel doors, like the big steel doors. And something apparently did not like me and didn't want me there. But I was smoking a cigarette, so I just said it.
Right. You know, gotta relax.
So next thing I know, I'm thrown up against the steel door by my neck, like literally 3 feet in the air. And it dropped me by throwing me into the door and dislocated my collarbone permanently. So now I have to push it back into place.
Was anyone at work?
No. It was just me and I think at the time my hunting partner.
That honestly makes it kind of worse because now it's like, guys, help.
Exactly. So I come back in and they're like, what the hell happened to your shoulder? And I'm like, I can't really explain it.
Yeah, no.
So I spent the next 8 hours with a warm towel wrapped around me.
And that's it?
Yep.
All right, yep. That's how you take care of that. Problem solved.
All right, so tell us your paranormal story.
Okay, so when I was a kid, I lived in this very old house. It was built around like the 1950s. And we had always felt like there were things in there, things that were watching us, just, you know, very calm things. And then one time, me and my brother were home alone and we lived with our dad and our cousin. Our dad wasn't supposed to be home for a while, but our cousin would kind of just like come and go. And one day we were sitting in the living room and we heard the back door like open and slam.
Ooh.
And we just looked at each other and we were like, oh, okay, our cousin's home. And we heard the door to the kitchen open, slam, heard the fridge open, someone rustling around in the kitchen. And like we called out for him and no one answered. And we just like looked at each other and we're like, okay. And I got up and looked in the kitchen, no one there.
Oh
Went
my
out to the
gosh.
driveway, his truck is not in the driveway, and we just looked at each other like, oh my God, there's
Oh my
something in this
goodness.
house.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and like from then on, like the cabinets would randomly open and
Oh.
slam shut and everything, and
That's like some poltergeist stuff right there. Oh.
yeah. Like one little thing is that I could not sleep in my room because the energy in there was just so oppressive constantly. That was like,
gosh.
you have to get out.
Wow.
So I never slept in my room.
So do you think the house was haunted?
Yes,
Specifically,
definitely.
or like someone brought something in, or?
I do think that the house was haunted. The man who had built it, he had a very tragic accident before he passed away.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah, so I do feel like he was probably still around, and my brother would say that there was an old woman who would stand in the doorway next to where he slept and just
Wow.
stare at him.
Oh, that's creepy.
So
Oh,
that was
no,
probably
no,
his
no,
wife.
no. Oh, gosh. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. I
Yes,
appreciate that. I
absolutely.
can take that. All right, let's hear your story.
So the cat balls that you were giving out, we used.
Oh my God.
And it kept going off for him. Like every cat ball that he would like put in an area would always go off for him. But mine wouldn't go off at all. Like it went off a few times. The first time we were just trying to connect, and I was like, just like touch one of them in front of us, and his kept going off over and over again.
Oh wow.
And then we went into like one of the rooms with a closet, and he put his inside the closet, and we were like, well, nothing's really gonna happen, because we weren't even asking questions. We were kind of just like talking and waiting for something to happen.
Exactly.
And it went off, and it actually would go off the more when I started recording it.
Oh, that's interesting.
And
oh, wow.
so, yeah,
It was like, ooh, what's that? What's that camera?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, that's really cool.
It
Well,
was-
you got a piece of evidence with the equipment we gave you yesterday. That's so
Mhm.
cool. That's awesome.
It
We'd
was
love to hear it.
amazing.
That's so cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing with us. I appreciate it.
My name is Christine, and I want to share the time that I heard my grandmother after she passed away.
Like you audibly.
Me and my grandfather both heard her.
What she said? Did she say something? Or
She
was
said
making
his
sounds?
name.
Oh, where were y'all at?
We were at my grandparents' house, and she had passed a few months prior. Before she passed, she was immobile, and like my grandfather had to take care of her, so
Right.
she'd always yell his name, Jack. And a few months after she passed, my grandfather and I were in the sitting room watching TV, and I heard Jack clear as day in her voice.
As if she was trying to get
And
help.
my grandfather turned to me and said, "Did you hear someone say, like, Bill or whatever?" And I said, "No, I heard grandmother say Jack." He's like, "That's what I heard too. I just wanted to make sure that you wouldn't lie." So we both heard her voice
That's
say his
crazy.
name.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
How soon after passing was that?
It was, I think, just a couple months after she
That's
passed.
so nuts. That is
Yeah.
so nuts. That's awesome that he heard it too. And he's like, you know what? Let's just see if it's not like if you don't hear the same thing. Maybe I'm just imagining things. But like the fact that he heard it was like, let's test this, and you heard it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How did you feel about it? Was it like, ooh, that
No,
gave me chills. So
It didn't. I mean, I knew it was my grandmother. I
Right,
knew her voice.
right.
I knew it was her, so it wasn't scary.
right. That's awesome. That's so
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that.
Okay, so when I was a younger kid, my dad was in the military, and we were at this apartment. I used to live in Lewistown, PA. We were at this apartment, and I used to play in the attic a lot. And when I would play in the attic, I would play with these siblings. I don't remember yeah, for real.
Hold on now.
No, for real. I don't remember the boy's name. I don't know if I ever saw him, but Caroline was the girl's name, and she was like in a black dress, kind of like crazy, but it was kind of like an Anne Frank dress.
That's concerning.
Yeah, it was really crazy, but that's
And the attic of all places too. So.
attic. That was like the style that it was. But her dad was a really, really dark spirit. Like he never came around. We don't know any history on it because we can't find anything on it.
That's weird.
Which is even more weird.
Yeah, that's absolutely weird.
But we know he was a dark spirit because there was another time in my room where I felt something and saw something sit on my bed. Like my bed just sank. It was like this dark presence all the time.
And there, like nothing else was there.
Nothing else was there, and something sat on my bed, and I screamed. And
you saw it actually sink in.
yeah, I actually saw it sink in with this dark presence.
Oh, that's so wild.
Yeah, and I screamed for my mom. And there was this motion sensor light in the hallway, and our male dog would always run down the hallway peeing, like pee down the hallway. And it would come on and nobody would be there.
That's absolutely insane. That's wild.
Yeah, and
that's creepy.
Just one more for this.
Absolutely.
So my mom, she was in the, I think she was in the living room. So it's like the living room, and then you go down the hallway, and there was a back door. And she heard a man's voice, and she thought it was my dad coming home for lunch.
Right.
And she replied, like, "Hey, I'm in the living room." Clear as day, man's voice. Went back, nobody was there. She heard walking up the steps, the back steps from the door.
Time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's creepy. That's creepy. So what did she like?
I don't know.
All right, here we go.
I guess she maybe was scared, but this was all in the same house. There's no history on it. You can't find anything.
I wonder why. That's interesting.
And we think that the dad might have either killed the mom and killed himself or killed everybody.
That's insane. That's really sad.
Yeah, but
I mean, it would make sense with the dark spirit being there.
Right, but I only saw the girl.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah, so that's my experience.
Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
So I used to live like in a very different place than where I live now in Hagerstown.
Okay.
And in my house, I was home alone one day during the summer, and it was around lunchtime, and I heard the door open and like a baby crying because I have 3 younger siblings, and I heard like this baby crying, and then the high chair like click open, like someone put the baby down, and I texted my mom and I was like, "Are you home?" And she was like, "No, I won't be home for like another half an hour." And I was like, "Well, I just heard someone downstairs." And so I waited for a little bit, and I went downstairs, and the door was unlocked, but I know that I locked it before I went upstairs into my room. But then I was like, well, you know what? There's nobody down here. I'll just lock the door and go over to the kitchen and make myself some lunch. So I went to make lunch, and my room was right above the kitchen, and I heard like this like thumping noise coming from my room. And I was like, this is weird.
That's creepy. Immediately, that's creepy.
And there was nobody up there. So I don't know.
So did you go up there?
I did go up there.
And nothing was there?
Nothing was there.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Another time I was at my dad's house, and she was in the room with me. And we were sitting on the couch talking, and we heard this guy like whisper like hello, and then I had this sign on my bed, and it like went up like this, and it like crashed down. It's like, okay.
Okay, no big deal, just things smacking.
Yeah.
It's okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Oh my god. Hey.
Oh my god. No way.
Hi. Here we are.
You better strike a pose. If there's anybody up here with us right now, could you please come up to this recorder in my hand and introduce yourself?
What's your favorite color? That's my favorite question to ask.
What's your favorite food? How long were you here for?
Can you tell me what year it is right now? You can hear the chatter in the back. No. This is voice activated, so it only records when you're talking, these ones. All right, let me try one more time.
Yeah.
Here, you hold it.
Yeah.
Here.
You might have better luck.
Well, she got touched. She's a part of this building now, so her energy is a part of this building.
I literally can feel my arms here. They just imprinted on me.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be the same.
To me, To me, it was like. To me, it was like when they touched her. It's almost like she got downloaded into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she's a part of the energy field here. Like that's what it felt like to me. Yeah.
It was crazy.
All right, let's see.
All right, let's go. Can you tell me what your name is? How long did you live here? What's your favorite color?
What floor are we on right now?
Do you know what my name is?
Do you know what my name is?
Were you the one that touched Lexi? What color is Lexi's shirt?
How do you guys feel up here?
I feel like pressure on
Yeah.
my chest.
Yeah.
It was right when we walked around the corner, like you said, it was something pushed. It was hard for me to gauge like she's from coming up here.
I feel so bad that you did that. That has to hurt so bad.
But now, like now that I'm actually up here and the pain's subsiding, it feels very heavy.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Maybe?
I think there might have been a little something.
Actually, right after it, there might be something. That is like, I don't know what it says. That might have been something too. I think there is something.
There's a number, yeah.
Whoa.
I thought
Did it say, is it something?
It's 1958 is what I heard.
I heard 50, yeah. No, that just gave me all the chills, girl. I'm so sorry. I got chills. Oh my god.
I told you you're downloaded into this building. He is part of this building.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.